in my mind, goes together with a certain type of activism. And you can see the difference because these men are interested in gender equality, but they it's in this very technocratic way that you've seen with the gender mainstreaming agendas. While if it is a feminist agenda, that's when you will act. You will act as things happen. You will investigate things. You won't wait for somebody to come and make a complaint. There are a lot of things that need to be investigated in the South African context. So for me, that's the difference. So these men are not anti-gender or anti-women. They are just, they don't have a feminist agenda. So I think, and for me, it's the activism that's missing. Yeah. Now we are in a part of this gender agenda is queer politics, right? So there's a lot of consciousness about issues pertaining to LGBTIQ and trans, and specifically trans at the moment. Trans I think is on the agenda worldwide. And we also have people here who do trans activism, but also, encountering all kinds of problems. With the government, for example, just getting an ID document is a big problem. So no, there is a consciousness. But like I said, there's the whole issue with the lesbian killings also. This still goes on, and it's, even though the Commission is aware of it, there's not a lot of activism going on around that.
Oh, thank you. The race question, if you could, is there, should that come into any kind of, do you have a perspective on that at all?
Yeah, we are very sensitive about intersectionality. So working from a perspective of intersectional politics. But right from the start of the Commission, there was an issue about, white feminists and black feminists. So black African women. In South Africa, we have 4 categories that came out of the apartheid era. So it's black, African, Indian, colored, which is mixed race, and white. And the fact that because white women has always been empowered, that they, if you have too many white women in the Commission, then it's a problem. So that race issue and that race dynamic has been there right from the start. And there is a big sensitivity about who becomes commissioners and who don't, and so on. But in terms of our work, the work of the Commission, and in terms of my own scholarship, it's we intersectionality is the cog around which we do the work, because in South Africa that is just also being a post-colonial society where we have to deal with the past of colonial politics and colonial violence. We all use an intersectional approach.
So in the 2030 vision that South Africa speaks about, where does gender mainstreaming or just the fact of feminist institutionalism fit in? Does it fit in at all, at least on paper?
So there's the national...
You have experience of working with the Commission. So, where do you see it going? How do you see it moving forward?
Right. So the National Development Plan 2030 is a very important plan, and that was written more or less at the time when I was a commissioner. So I took, and it's a very big book, and I took that plan and I read through it, and it was completely gender blind. So I said to the chair of the Commission, this cannot go. We need to do a gender analysis of this plan. So he then appointed 4 commissioners to do it, of which I was one. And we did a whole report on how to, make this national development plan more gender sensitive and include gender issues. How can you have a whole chapter on health and you say nothing about women? How can you have a whole chapter on housing and you don't say, how women and men are differentially impacted on issues on health and housing and so on? That report has never been taken up by government. So it tells us something about political will. And in South Africa, there's a huge issue around political will, right? So, and our government is facing a lot as a consequence of state capture, where billions and billions of rands from the GDP was funneled into all kinds of criminal activity and corruption and so on, is that there's not a whole lot of money. So now if you ask for, all kinds of changes to plans and things, the answer would be there's no money. But we do take this Sustainable Development Goals, and I think 5 is gender equality. It's taken seriously, so it is written into reports. But we are a country that we're good at writing reports, but implementing them is far more difficult. Yeah,
that's something similar.